welcome to the Winning Daily Show. It's Saturday, September 18th. We got a whole lot of college football. We got Sparky's picks in for college football. We got Dynamite David's picks in. And of course, we got mine. We got a whole lot of upset specials. We got a handful of parlays to get into. And of course, our straight bets. But first, we're going to get into some horse racing. Light slate today. Couldn't find much soccer in the afternoon that I really liked. So we'll be back tomorrow with a whole bunch of soccer to get into. But let's go to the horse racing track, and we're going to start out in Churchill Downs. Race 9, the Iroquois, the first real race for the Kentucky Derby prep. This will be a automatic qualifier for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, so the first real big race for 2-year-olds, and we're going to go with the number 8 in the Win Play Show with Major General in this one. So race 9, the Iroquois Win Play Show with Major General here. There are a couple of really good contestants in this one. Right below him, Guntown is in there, but I really like this Major General. He's won a run race, his maiden race. He won that one pretty easy. Really, I just like this guy's breeding. He comes from Constitution. He comes from No Mo Lemons, who also comes from Lemon Drop Kid and Uncle Mo. So there's a lot of good breeding here. So we're going to ride the 2-year-old colt Major General in the Iroquois Win Play Show in that one. And then the other big race on Churchill down the Locust Grove. We're going to try to play a trifecta here on the Locust Grove. So in first place, we're only going to have one horse. We're going to go She Dares the Devil, the number 1 horse on that one for our first place in the trifecta. So She Dares the Devil, the number 7 for first place. Then in second place, we're going to play 3 horses in this one. We're going to go second. We're going to go with the number 1 Crystal Ball, the number 5 Invuante, and the number 6 Our Super Freak. So just the one horse, She Dares the Devil. For the second place on the trifecta, we're going to go with the 1 Crystal Ball, the 5 Invante, and the 6 Our Super Freak. And then third, we're going to wheel all 1 through 6. So that's what we got on the Churchill Downs. On the Locust Grove, that's the race 10. On the race 9, we got the number 8 Major General. And then we're going to go out to Woodbine. On the Woodbine Mile, we're going with the Win Play Show on the number 1 Town Cruise. Really like Town Cruise here. Think it presents really good value and pace as long as he doesn't get really bet down. But Town Cruise has won 2 allowance races in a row and then stepped up into a grade 2 King Edward. Finished a nice second place to Olympic Runner, who's in this one. So I think with his progression, he'll be able to handle this and come away with the Woodbine Mile Championship here. So Win Play Show on the number 1 Town Cruise. All right, let's get into some college football. Let's go over my straight bets that I like today. We're going to start off with UConn plus the 34 versus Army. Don't think Army will be able to score enough points to cover that 34. We're going to continue riding Purdue plus the 7 over Notre Dame. Notre Dame has not played well this year. Purdue has played well this year. We're going to look for the offense to continue. Out of UMass, plus the 22 versus Eastern Michigan. We're going to take Kansas plus the 18 versus Baylor. Yes, these are all very bad teams, but I think these point spreads are getting a little too high here. I see good value here. Next up, Washington State plus the 8.5 over USC. Duke plus the 2.5 versus Northwestern. Ball State plus the 7 versus Wyoming. The Georgia Southern, Arkansas under 52.5 we're going to go with. Next up, Arkansas State plus the 16 versus Washington. There's no way Washington can even score that many points. Then we got a double play in this game. San Diego State, Utah under 44.5. San Diego State plus the 9 versus Utah. Next up, we're going to continue riding our Charlotte 49ers, who have been playing good football this year. Charlotte getting 4 versus Georgia State. Virginia plus the 8 versus North Carolina. Really like that one. We're going to continue to ride our running Rebs. They've been scoring points. They should be able to cover this 31.5 point spread versus Iowa State. Next up, we're going to continue BYU's dominance of the Pac-12 South and take BYU plus a 4 over Arizona State. And lastly, the midnight special, San Jose State goes to Hawaii. We like San Jose State minus the 7 in that one. All right, what do we got from Sparky this week? Let's see what he has for us in college football picks. Sparky, what do you got for us? Giz's Olympics. Cash them tickets, y'all.
Cincinnati, Indiana. I like Indiana plus the 3.5. Virginia Tech, West Virginia. I like Virginia Tech plus 3. Western Michigan, Pittsburgh. I like Western Michigan plus the 15. Minnesota, Colorado. I like Minnesota plus the 2. Alabama, Florida. I like Alabama minus the 15.5. Mississippi State, Memphis. I like Mississippi State minus 3. Auburn, Penn State. I like Auburn plus 6. And Tulane, Ole Miss. I like Tulane plus the 14.
All right, so Sparky's picks are in. Let's see if he can get back on track after a poor week last week. Let's see if he rides a hot streak this week. All right, I got 5 3-team parlays for you this week. Had a good week last week on the parlays. Let's see if that continues. First off, we're going to take Western Michigan plus a 14.5 versus Pitt, Central Michigan plus a 20 versus LSU, and Kent State plus the 23.5 versus Iowa. So our all-MAC parlay in our first 3-team parlay. In our second one, we're going to ride Colorado minus the 2.5 versus Minnesota, Kansas State plus the 1.5 versus Nevada, and Stanford minus the 12.5 versus Vandy. In our second 3-team parlay. In our third 3-team parlay, we're going Boise State minus 3.5 versus Oklahoma State, Alabama minus the 14.5 versus Florida, and Wake Forest minus the 4.5 versus Florida State. All right, what do we got for number 4 in our 3-team parlay? Georgia Tech plus the 28 versus Clemson, Tulane plus the 14.5 versus Ole Miss, and Memphis plus the 3.5 versus Mississippi State. And lastly, to close out our 5th 3-team parlay, we're going SMU minus 10.5 versus La Tech, Auburn plus the 5.5 versus Penn State, and lastly, Cincinnati minus the 4 versus Indiana. So those 5 3-team parlays. See if we can continue that hot streak. Let's see if Dynamite David, after a big week last week, can continue his hot streak. Dynamite, what picks do you got for us this week?
Dynamite picks. Boom goes the dynamite.
Hey everyone, Dynamite David here with your picks, NCAA picks for Saturday and one game on Sunday. I've got a lot of them, 17 of them to be exact, so let's get through them quickly here. I've got New Mexico plus 29.5 at Texas A&M, followed by Toledo minus 14.5 versus Colorado State. After that, I've got Cincinnati minus 3.5 at Indiana. Don't know why that spread's so small, but I'm taking it all day long. After that, I've got Colorado minus 2 versus Minnesota. I'm going to take Auburn plus the 6 going into Penn State in that big matchup. I like Virginia plus 9 at North Carolina. That's a lot of points for a team that I like a lot better than North Carolina at the moment. I've got Boise State minus 4.5 versus Oklahoma State. San Jose State, that's the Sunday night matchup, minus 6.5 in Hawaii. I like Coastal Carolina minus 13.5 at Buffalo. I like Marshall's win big, minus 10 over East Carolina. Northern Illinois, I'm crossing my fingers they can stay within 27 at Michigan. I think they get it done. Virginia Tech, I like plus 3 at West Virginia. Alabama, I'm going to take to win big. I don't think Florida keeps this close. Alabama, minus 15.5. I'm going to take Nevada, minus 2 going into Kansas State. Another big close game, but I think the offense is just going to be there for Nevada a little bit more than it is for Kansas State. I'm going to take San Diego State plus the 9 versus Utah. I don't think Utah's found their rhythm offensively yet, and San Diego State's defense is going to take advantage. South Carolina, I'm going to take them plus the 32 at Georgia. I don't like this South Carolina team, but I think they're going to make it just ugly enough to stay within the 32. And finally, I'm going to take Fresno State, my Bulldogs, plus the 11.5 at UCLA. That's all my picks. Back to you, champ.
All right, so Dynamite David with his picks. Does he stay hot this week? Let's see how he does. And lastly, to close out Winning Daily, I'm going to give you my upset specials on the week. All right, we're going to go with Western Michigan plus 475 over Pittsburgh. We're going to go Purdue plus 240 over Notre Dame. We got a big one here. UMass plus 850 over Eastern Michigan. We like Washington State plus 240 over USC. Kent State plus 1,000 over Iowa. Kansas plus 620 over the Baylor Bears. Ball State plus 225 over Wyoming. Arkansas State goes up to Washington and wins that plus 525. San Diego State plus 280 over Auburn. Plus 170 over Penn State. Central Michigan plus 870 over LSU. And lastly, to close it out, Virginia plus 260 over North Carolina. All right, that's Winning Daily for Saturday. Be sure to join us tomorrow when we have all our NFL props and fantasy plays on the day. To do that, like and subscribe so you don't miss anything. Be sure to catch me and Achilles Rain on the Football Time Show as we break down, preview, and make our picks and our 50 on 5 mutuals for the show. Don't want to miss that. Like and subscribe. That's our show, and we're out.